Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's action in the Smite World Championship. My name is hi-rez Bart. Joining me today on co-commentary, once again, and for the rest of your qualifying period, the one and only DM Brandon. With this dance, I summon Nance.
Really? You really do that?
Hey, man. I'm summoning you. What do you got?
Welcome to week 4 of the Smite World Championships, everyone. Coming in as first seed today, Team Dignitas actually fell for the first time last week, which was pretty impressive, I'd say, coming out from Cognitive, who have found their footing, I think, after 2 major wins over both Snipe and Team Dignitas, getting themselves first place, but maintaining their second seed. They're going to need a few more placings to overcome Team Dignitas. Maintaining their third seed placing, Snipe will fight their way through the bracket to possibly meet up again with Cognitive in semis, as the boys from the Game Changers, and now TGC, not TCB, TGC, will fight through the bracket, hoping, I think, for their first major one of the qualifying rounds. But we still have 5 Angry Men, Victoria's Secret, Torch, and the Wildcards on a Mighty Storm to check in with as well. But our first stop today, Bart, is going to be round 1 with Full Moon and the boys.
That's right. Probably not a lot of players that you guys have heard of unless you are playing grinding the ranked ladders. Players all kind of trending towards the top of silver, a couple of them peeking out into gold as well. This week going to be our round of 32 matchup, DM. And taking a look at that one, I mean, it's hard to call a winner because we haven't seen that much tournament play from these guys, but maybe we have an opportunity to talk about, well, the last chance for everyone to pick all these warriors. I expect to see some serious warrior play this weekend.
Oh man, next week is going to be mind-blowing to me because characters like Loki and characters like Kali, whose biggest weaknesses are the fact that they can't fight characters like Tyr and Odin and Chalk, are going to zoom into favor. Characters like Bastet, who no longer have CC immunity, are going to start falling down a little bit, but I expect a lot of Hun bots, I expect a lot of Scylla, and today I expect a lot of Tyr.
Yeah, I expect to see quite a bit of Tyr, Odin, and Sun Wukong banned, picked up, what have you. But that, ladies and gentlemen, will bring us into the game on the left side of your screen. Full Moon. The right side will be the boys, and our banning phase underway. There are no auto bans in this tournament, so Osiris available.
Osiris is available in all of his glory. I think he's a very strong pick, but we've seen in the past that a character that has just come out and is allowed into tournament won't be played by a lot of the top teams. You know, Dignitas, Snipe, Cognitive, we might not see him picked up by them, but a lot of the lower seeded teams who are playing a lot of ranked or a lot of casual games might have a better chance of playing it. So in the earlier rounds, I think we have a better chance of seeing him, unless Shing has figured something out early.
Generally speaking, Osiris or any new god does not really come into the fold until the Europeans play him on Sundays. Osiris is a tough pick.
The launch tournament, only NQ played Scylla, and
that's
it was
right.
like solo lane.
Yeah. She wasn't good, DM. She wasn't good.
All right, so our ban phase is done here, Bart. Bots is taken out, Bastet's taken out, obvious. Odin and Zeus, the combo's been gone as well. Wukong's going to be the first pick, and that's something I love.
I'm surprised to see Wukong first pick with Uller on the board.
I don't think Uller's as strong as Sun Wukong. I think Sun Wukong just brings too much. However, Poseidon, I think, is definitely too strong to be making it all the way down there.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of... traditionally, you'd first pick Uller here. I guess they want to run Apollo. That would be the obvious choice here. My guess, it's going to be Tyr Scylla here. They can't let Scylla get banned out, or they'll be forced to take a pretty awkward matchup against that Poseidon in the mid lane.
Scylla has a pretty awkward matchup, though, against Poseidon. That cripple does real work against Sentinel. If she gets caught, she's pretty squishy. Yeah,
most people, traditionally, you wouldn't want to pick a Scylla into a Poseidon. Usually Poseidon banned out as a strat if you want to pick up the Scylla, but I think that she still has one of the better matchups as long as she gets some help from the jungler early on to deal with Poseidon's early push, or goes to the red pot start. She can do reasonably well against that Poseidon, and Scylla, we've seen late game does scale probably deeper than any other mage.
So Tyr, Aphrodite both locked in for the solo lane. The counter pick of Chung-Ah thrown up and locked in immediately.
Wow.
I really hope to see the Divine Ruin Rush. I really love it.
Yeah, I mean, that build is... I probably expect to see Divine Ruins on both. Well, Aphrodite will almost assuredly stack that Warlock Sash as her first item, but then we'll probably see Divine Ruin coming out from her as well, especially if the boys pick up another healer here, maybe... I guess they don't have room for it, do they? But maybe a sustain-style bruiser. But we have another ban coming out from the boys now, and it's going to be... no one.
Someone.
They elect to not ban.
Are you allowed to do that?
I believe you are. I don't know. Admins will clarify that, or it was a ban done through just the chat system. We were waiting to find out what that is, but get banned out by Full Moon here. So out goes the rock, and in comes the chalk here, it looks like, for the boys. They're going to lock that in. So they did.
Was that lucky, or did you know that chalk was coming? Was that
no, I was luck, man. That was all
luck?
hope.
Oh, man, that's fantastic.
Out the rock, in the chalk. Yeah, but anyway, so that indicates to me that we probably will see that Divine Rune on Aphrodite then.
Me.
Oh, definitely.
Isis.
I mean, shutting down the chalk healing is going to be very important. But Chang'e, I mean, 90% healing reduction, especially on they have
it's legitimate.
They have Isis. They have every one of those characters can heal, and every one of them is going to get very hurt by Moonflower Dance.
Yes, that's true. Although Sun Wukong, I guess you can shut down his healing.
I guess in a way. Weakening Curse in 1v1 if they picked him and just did it right as he went up, and he was getting like no health. It's awesome.
Does it apply if he's CC immune still?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, not 100% on that. But taking a look at Mercury here is Lenny Loose Lips for the boys, and that's going to be a lock in. So we're going to see Mercury being played here today.
I like this pickup as well. It's going to give Chang'e a little bit more pressure, and since he has some of the, I think, most surprising ganks, it's going to catch Aphrodite off guard. Now, Aphrodite, of course, does have Undying Love, which, creates basically an Aegis Beads bubble for her.
Mm-hmm.
But if Mercury starts it up and she uses it, I think, still, in my opinion, Waxing Moon is the best move in the game. It's super easy to follow up onto Aphrodite. So if Aphro uses Undying Love to counter Mercury, a second later, she's getting hit with that Waxing Moon, she's going to go down.
I got to tell you, man, legendary Uller here for the boys. That's a lot of Uller play in not a lot of time. Hank Hammerhand's going to be steering that one for the boys of the Chaos side here, it looks like today. And I don't know, man. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of great targets for Uller to kill. If he doesn't do well in this lane versus Neath, it's going to be tough for him to pick up kills through the mid game with all the control that Tyr and Aphrodite are going to bring in these team fights. Sun Wukong as well, able to initiate pretty well. Also a tough game for Mercury to find a good target to pick off, as you mentioned, with that Aphrodite. Plus a Tyr, neither of them easy to lock down. Isis probably going to be the easiest target for them to kill throughout most of the game here, but it's a pretty evasive team altogether, drafted by Full Moon.
They're going to have to be careful. That's it. I mean, they have picked a team on Full Moon that is very reliant on sustainability. And given the fact that Chang'e can just completely shut down all of their sustainability, they're going to have to ensure that they're spread out, which is going to completely defeat the Circle of Protection. And they're going to have to make sure that they're aiming for one target at a time here and picking them off, trying to use little bits of sustain here and there when they have it available to pick off one target at a time. The issue here is that if they take too long and they allow the boys to set the pace, Poseidon's going to run wild, and that's just going to be GG.
Yeah, it's going to be an early game kind of, I think, dictating the pace of the game. I think you're absolutely right. And I think if Mercury hits level 5 first and they get an early kill onto Tyr, it should be a pretty easy win for the boys. But we'll see how it all does shake out, guys, here in just about 3 minutes. The Spectator Timer counts down for game number 1 here in the round of 32 SWC on our way to the regional qualifiers. It's Full Moon versus the boys. Up next, don't go anywhere for DM. I'm hi-rez Bart, and we'll see you in just a few. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to game number 1 out of the round of 32. It's going to be Full Moon going up against the boys. My name is hi-rez Bart. Joining me today, once again, DM Brandon. And please allow me to introduce your teams. They are the blue team fighting on the order side of the map, and the bottom side of your mini-map, left side of your Spectator UI. It is Full Moon. It's going to be I win, you lose, in the soul lane as Aphrodite. You have D Gooden as the Isis in the mid lane, Instinctivity, and Darkblade will be matching up for the dual lane, Sun Wukong and Neath, and it will be Bond James in the jungle as Tyr. Their opponents today on the Chaos side of the map, wearing the red trunks, top side of your minimap, right side of your Spectator UI. They are the boys. It's going to be Hank Hammerhands matching up with what appears to be Lenny Loose Lips here. Oh, no, we got to fight. DM, take it.
Barty's jumping in. He gets the catch done. Uller's in trouble here. Cripple's not going to do a lot of damage, but they're looking for it. Oh, the Spirit Arrow's going to miss, but they're trying to get it. One more shot's going to do it, and the end of Fearless is going to find it. First Blood's going to Bond James.
That's a really good way to shut down an Uller out of the duo lane where he's matching up with Chalk on Lenny Loose Lips as Hank Hammerhands now 0-1. Dirty Mike will be your mid laner as Poseidon. Mercury in the jungle for Josema 16X and Chang'e of Mastered going to be in the soul lane. But DM, let's take another look at that First Blood. Yeah. Here is how it all went down, guys. A beautiful wave. Just so there we go. Okay, sorry. So we're actually not going to have that replay, guys, as the mid camps do spawn out. DM. Talking about, I guess, the importance of First Blood here. We didn't lose any red pots, it looks like, but we did see an early spill onto Uller, and that kill did go the way of that Tyr. And That's really, really good news for Full Moon, because Tyr getting to an early Boots or Jotun's Wrath, depending on what he elects to rush here, it's going to be a big deal.
That kill, he split the red buff experience. Both Afro and Tyr are level 2 going into the blue buff, meaning they're going to have double abilities taking this one down. When they go to lane here, already Mercury's going to be in a lot of trouble. He did hit level 2 here, but usually at this point in the game, there's a small experience benefit to the red team if they can push in the creeps to the wave, but they were unable to do that. Bond James just had the damage to clear it up faster.
Yeah, that you're right. I mean, it does give them the potential to snowball the first about 3 levels here in the early lane. They can play pretty aggressive with their level 3. That's going to be level 2 Birds and Aphrodite. I would assume she didn't take back off here. They don't really need the burst. They have plenty of burst out of Tyr. What they really need is just a lot of damage.
We got to push here.
Mercury's going to be in trouble. He's taking a lot of damage now. This is going to be a very, very dead Mercury. The heal from Changa, not enough, and now a second death out from the boys early. And onto their probably 2 most important gods get a good start.
You know, right there, Jose, I'm not sure if he intended to go for the fling or if Tyr accidentally stepped in front of it. Either way, he should have just gone in a different direction. By him sticking around there, that's not only going to be an early kill once again, but his red pot is out of there.
Yeah, and now it's an assist now for Tyr on top of his kill, putting him at 2,500 gold farmed, which is going to be some absurd amount of gold per minute for this stage of the game. Over 300 already, and you're looking at under 150 gold per minute for basically everybody on the boys. Very, very fast start for Bond James. He's going to have an early level 5 here. And you know what? If I was him, I'd be skipping the ultimate for probably 2 or 3 levels right now. You're so far ahead of everyone. Just get your Fearless and Cleave maxed out. You're not going to need to escape, especially with this pre-nerf Tyr.
Yeah, I mean, at this level in the game, you get an early blink. You don't need Lawbringer for, a push. You just need it to get out of bad situations. And given the fact that he's a tied level right now with the mid lane, I don't, like you said, expect him to really need that. Looking at the items here, I'm most interested in Chang'e, who has gone into level 1 of Tiny Trinket, which is going to put her still a ways away, but we are getting a gank opportunity here. Dirty Mike's in trouble. He's a Fearless is there. The Spirit Ball is going to be good, and he will go down.
Mercury's going to rotate in. Chalk's here as well, but Chalk not going to be able to bring too much to the table. Only sitting at level 3. His damage is decent, but Ice is going to be able to relatively well deal with that. Oh, wow. The Wing Gust is going to clean that up. That auto attack from Bond James with the red pot still active did a lot of damage to Mercury. Yeah. That's in Tyr's hit chain. So yet another kill, or I'm sorry, 2 more assists coming through for Bond James on that Tyr, and you have a 2-0 in the mid lane for Isis. All very, very good news. And you got to be worried about this Chalk pick for support. He's going to have a hard time getting anything going, DM. And the boys, they are more of a late game-oriented team. So, you know, this early game not going so well for them is probably to be expected, but definitely not to this magnitude. I mean, they're getting really beaten all lanes now.
And, you know, you're taking a look at D. Gooden, right? He's sitting inside the creeps, and this is how you know you're ahead, because he has opted to sit inside the... Oh, wait, Kraken's going to bring him down. He's not getting out of this one.
Yeah, no way. Oh, the Mercury ultimate blown there as well. They really wanted to secure that kill, get on the board, but they waste a lot for it, to be honest with you there. I mean, that's 2 big teamfight ultimates now down. Probably only needed the Kraken to get it. Bond James is here. He's going to get collapsed by 3. Actually gets tossed first by Mercury. Now trying to get out. That's a dead Tyr. Wow.
The greed is real.
Blue stance? Blue stance? Oh, he missed. He missed the blue stance there to hit anybody, get the heal back up. They pick him up. And that's actually a big play for Lenny Looselips here, picking up some experience and gold on that Shock, who was starting to fall quite a bit behind. You can see his net worth trailing pretty heavily at this point. But, you know, now he's jumped ahead of Instinctivity. He's only sitting at just under 2,700 gold farm. Lenny Looselips has really closed this gap on this Shock support, which is dubiously effective.
You know, realistically, they have gotten just too aggressive, though. The boys once again in some trouble here, as you see Chang'e falling down to Afro under the tower. The ult will be used there. Undying Love is on cooldown as we see a rotation coming out from Sun Wukong and Isis as they turn to look to, I guess, make
Spirit Ball over here on the Poseidon. Ooh, that's gonna hit and then doing 130 damage, but he's just too deep. Wow, did he blow beats there?
I don't know.
Yeah, it looked like he blew his beats there. So beats are gonna be down for Poseidon here for about another 120 seconds, about 2 minutes left on that cooldown for Dirty Mike. That's not good news. And if the boys are smart here, they are going to realize that they need to come protect this Poseidon, because Full Moon is most likely going to dive this tower with a rotation from the jungler at any moment.
So far, we should really be taking a look as well at the solo lane, because the Divine Ruin is finished, meaning at this point, Moonflower Dance is going to be doing a healing reduction of 90% to Aphrodite, who is now level 8, meaning she has level 4 birds. You're going to see those birds heal her up for about 40 health.
About
maybe
nothing,
20,
give or take.
Yeah, it's basically irrelevant, especially given the fact that Chang'e will not be leveling her heal.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough matchup once the Divine Ruin comes out, but if you're sufficiently ahead as Aphrodite, you can still easily clear the wave. Divine Ruin doesn't shut down your ability to do that, and building up the stacks on what I assume to be an early Warlock. No, it's going to be a very, very early Void Stone, it looks like, coming out. The Ward Stone already completed. There's a Mercury Ultimate on the left side. Instinctivity in a lot of trouble. Can he make it up as the Sun Wukong? He can indeed, and now here comes Tyr and the reinforcements. D. Gooden gonna get the knock, and down goes Josemot. Out comes the Kraken. In some trouble now is going to be Darkblade. Uller gonna try to clean this up on the backside. The fight continues on as Lenny Lusup's trying to run away from Bon James' Spirit Ball is avoided. The Tyr's there, and he has an angle for a Fearless, and this is almost guaranteed to be a kill. Down he will fall. The Uller not going to try to re-engage here. Oh, maybe he is. Hank looking a little feisty there, but no, just going to toss out the axe and leap back over into tower. So at the end of the day, DM, a 1-for-1 trade, but it's a win for the boys, trading their support Chalk for a kill onto Darkblade.
Aphrodite still able to hold off Chang'e here. You see both of them sitting kind of low health, but Aphrodite's healing is starting to go off once again, putting her up over 500, whereas we see Mastered kind of much lower as he's sitting at... Oh, he's got the combo here. Is he going to go for it? Waxing Moon is available. Birds are going to do damage. Back off as well. He's going to use the
Oh, he threw it into the ultimate there.
That was a choke.
Yeah, totally choked. You know, that's tough. He just rushed the stroke a little bit there.
That would have been a really solid play right there, but he got way too aggressive and he put himself into a bad spot, and now Aphrodite's going to get some free farm. If she notices where the jungler is on the map and the fact that Aphrodite, or rather Chang'e, has gone back, she can sit here, low health or not, ensures that she pushes everything the way she wants to push it, get some creeps into the tower here, go back and spend some of that money. Aphrodite looks like that Void Stone's not going to be finished for about 80 gold, so she actually maxed out Sprint. I wonder if that was a mistake.
Yeah, normally you would see the Heavenly Agility here, giving the extra healing as well as the AoE Sprint, a little bit more of a support-oriented item than the Sprint 3, which doesn't obviously add much to you except for the escapability. Yeah, it's got to be a misclick there. Just tournament play. As we mentioned, you know, these are not the most tenured teams in the world in terms of tournament experience, so probably a little bit of a rushed stroke there.
Even tenured, I mean, we see teams make the Sprint Heavenly mistake all the time.
That's right.
I mean, it's not something you're going to completely fall out of favor for. I mean, it's going to hurt him going into the mid game. Early game, in the lane phase especially, it's actually going to help him given the fact that it does have a shorter cooldown. But at the same time, Chang'e is a little bit farther behind level 9 right now comparatively to Aphrodite level 10, who's starting to get some extra damage from that back off. Yeah,
she is. And now as the Waxing Moon combination comes through there, unfortunately not finding a kill for Mustard. So Chang'e, you're just kind of playing keep away against this Aphrodite. We're both going to farm the wave. I'm going to try to whittle you down little by little, not let those birds heal you up for too much, but you got to figure that the Tyr is going to make this rotation sooner than later. Speaking of Tyr rotations, he's hunting in the enemy jungle right now, not going to find any camps on the right side. Poseidon pretty deep under his tower, Mercury close by as well. Not
this is
likely
actually
to be
really big for Mercury. Tyr has wasted at least 40 seconds here looking for something to farm and hasn't gotten anything. You can see Mercury on the bottom, level 8. He's starting to catch up. He was very far behind. And again, Tyr's spending time.
Old Hank's going to find a kill there onto the knee. A bladed arrow going to seal the deal underneath the tower. Just really, really tough to go and fight in the middle of that duo lane with the Uller in the 1v1 and gets that stun into his burst combo. Pretty tough to get away.
When was the last time you saw a Tyr get experience?
It's been some time here. Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, sitting at level 9, he was keeping pace with
bad for them.
Yeah, they're not looking at this Poseidon at all.
Where's the Poseidon? Oh, he was too late. He put himself in a bad spot, completely out of range there. There was no communication between the two players, and Mercury, who had a very good footing there, falls because the Poseidon just wasn't ready to fight.
Yeah, so that was a bit awkward, and the chalk rotation was missing from that. He should have started making his way in a bit earlier to force that into a disadvantage. And now, look at the Tyr. He just walks into the tower, gets the Fearless Trade onto Dirty Mike like it just casual.
Oh, the stop! Can he block the ult? Oh, Chalk not paying attention.
Yeah, just a small miss there. Could have saved Poseidon's life. Nice reaction by Dirty Mike to dig kill with him, but I mean, I don't know if the camera caught that, but Tyr literally walked into the tower, turned around, threw out a Fearless, and hit the Poseidon. I mean, you got to be a little more evasive than that on the Poseidon, especially with all the run speed that he has.
Solo lane, Chang'e's starting to get the hang of this one as Aphrodite sitting low health, low mana, can't seem to handle the pressure. that the Fairy of the Moon's able to put out. You can see her full health getting very close to full mana as well, sitting about 70%. Aphrodite forced back here with a wave pushing in. She's going to have to use that sprint to get back to lane.
Maybe that's why she has sprint 3. Taking that as a surrogate teleport to towers against the Chang'e. Although Chang'e's push power not necessarily that strong up until, well, right around now.
About now, yeah.
Yeah, right around now she has a good opportunity to do some damage, but Mustard's actually going to go ahead and recall once to finish off the boots. And here comes the first big decision, really. It is going to be the cooldown boots. So not going to be going for the big damaging style of Chang'e, really trying to be a factor so much in the team fights, looking to be more of the utility. And yeah, relying on
the best move in the game. The more that it's up, the better.
That's right, yeah. So, I mean, are you expecting to see another CDR item here, or will she stay at just the single one?
I mean, well, if she's afraid of tier at this point, she can go into Breastplate and max it out. Otherwise, I don't expect a Chronos Pendant, maybe a Mail of Renewal to get some extra health as well, but really, Aphrodite's a non-factor at this point. Aphrodite can't compete with the healing anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't expect to see a Chronos Pendant by any stretch of the imagination, but, I don't know. Yeah, the Mail of Renewal seems reasonable here.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, it's actually a really, really good item on her, given the fact that she's usually in the back line, not putting herself in too much danger, and with Waxing Moon allows her to put herself in, you know, in great situations to get assists and to get kills, and to ensure that with her healing on top of the Mail of Renewal, it can really boost her back up.
Yeah, physical support, physical jungle as well. Bond is here, but he's not going to pull the trigger on Fearless, waiting. Blinks ahead now, trying to find the Fearless. Waxing Moon used to get out. Here comes the Mercury Ultimate, going to hold him down, tossing Tyr back. Not sure if they want to try to kill him here. Doubt they can, but they have baited out the Aphrodite Ultimate at this point, so that's a win for the boys.
Yeah, I definitely agree, given the fact that she doesn't have CDR. That's going to be a full cooldown incurred, whereas Waxing Moon right now is even getting closer at this point. But look at the healing done. I don't know how I love about this one. He's in trouble.
Bird's not going to do much, DM. But, oh, they do find the sun. That's a dead Mercury for sure. So, Full Moon, you know, that's kind of the danger of trying to engage into tier Aphrodite. They have about 4 or 5 chances to fight you and mess up and then still find a kill.
Even
that's
with the
kind of what
healing
we see
reduction.
there. Yeah, it just doesn't really matter. I mean, they're just so resilient. The Aphrodite, you know, can kind of stay back, put out her damage from afar with the Link. And then Tyr, I mean, it's just so hard to lock down. It's so resilient. It has a nice burst heal to his name as well. So it's just a tough kind of matchup to take those extended engagements, the ring around the rosies in the jungle. Because you can just get hit by a Fearless and die to burst really, really quickly.
I feel like Tyr would be a really good Soul Calibur character. You ever play Soul Calibur? And,
oh, yeah.
And they do those fire moves, you know, the unblockables, and you get hit by them, and you're like, how did I get hit by that? It has like 97 frames of startup. And that's what Tyr does, is he just walks at you, and you just panic. You have no idea where to stand. You don't know where he intends to push you, and then by the time you finally made a decision, you're already taking the power cleave.
I was an Astaroth player, so I know the life of long startup unblockables.
Oh,
but dual lane, Bond James over here. Is their ward spotting him out? It looks like they did have the ward coming as on his path in just behind the Gold Fury here. But now he's going to take a steal at the blue. Mercury does not know he's here, just puts a ward down at the Gold Fury. Already countered by a sentry here from Full Moon, so that'll go down momentarily. Bond James has an angle here on the Uller. Mercury is going to miss the dash. Oh, this could be potentially ugly. Mercury ultimate going to use as well. Still can't find Darkblade. Darkblade did a nice job of juking. Not going to be another axe available, but there you go. Now you're going to die underneath the tower. There's the pin, and there is a dead Uller as he gets knocked up by the Fearless Chain. Take a look at the action now going off just behind the Gold Fury DM. Not going to keep going, but Uller overcommitting to that kill. He had to know Tyr was there, right?
He definitely did. I mean, Mercury had to be screaming, get out, get out, get out, but that was just plain tunnel vision. Oh, we got a Neathal coming out. Worldweaver's going to be focused onto Poseidon. Bead's going to be used and will activate, but it looks like... Oh, nice Whirlpool! The Kraken's going to deter the fight and force out the ultimate from Instinctivity as we turn our sights to Tyr, who does find, once again, Lenny loose lips. Doesn't look like he's getting out of this one. The Wind Gust will find it and take him down.
Lenny just is paper thin right now. Warrior Tabi and Watcher's Gift. It's a pretty easy kill. I mean, you saw Fearless there throwing out about 800-900 damage in this stage in the game without only that Joke Trap finish, only sitting at rank 2. I mean, yeah, that's Chalk's probably sitting at 1300 health right now. So it's an easy kill with a Spirit Fall follow-up, and that's going to turn into a Gold Fury as well for Full Moon, pulling them a bit farther ahead. Experience really going to be the big difference in this game right now. 4,000 experience, the gold creeping up around 3,500, almost 3,750, but it's the experience that's hurting really bad right now. Joke's Wrath not done yet, on to Tyr. He does have the gold in hand, however, to finish it, so it's a good timing right now for Full Moon to really try to pressure the map. They already took the early objective, so I would say if they don't find a tower here, the next 2-3 minutes, that's good news for the boys.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the boys have to be careful just because they're so far behind at this point. If they choose to keep engaging this way, they're just going to fall victim. Mercury right now 3 levels behind. Really, the only person that we're looking at to stay in this game at this point, we're taking a look at Poseidon, even level, and then Chunga, who's 1 level behind, not too bad, and does have counters to her lane, but without major war coverage, it's going to be hard for her to push forward. Otherwise, it's just going to be the tier show.
Yeah, and the tier show is a pretty entertaining show to watch, and we get to see it a lot here in competitive Smite, at least for this week.
Well, you know, Lassus has been talking about how tier will maintain for those players who are very comfortable with the character, might have him legendary or play him a lot in tournament. They won't be affected too much by the changes, but it should be noted, no matter what your skill level, the full combo 0 to death will be gone, given the fact that you can no longer knock people up with Blue Fearless.
Yeah, kills probably going down, but assists going up. Definitely a god that is great at securing action for his team. There's Mercury ultimate being channeled, not going to use it. Here comes the special delivery, and that's a good way to kill a tier. Just dump him into a crack, and there's an ETH ultimate going out as well here on to the Mercury. But a clever play there by Mustard, going to use the dance to avoid it. In the meantime, however, left side tier 1 is going to fall in favor of the boys as well, so they continue to climb back in.
Oh, that Spirit Ball finds 2. Waxing Moon still available. Storm Call still available. That could have been disastrous. They should have taken Fire Giant right there. Isis didn't go back. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Isis went back. I thought they had a 4v2, or rather 4v0 at the Fire Giant available. It looks like Isis did stick around. She is full health. I'm surprised that we didn't see a push then. I mean, they had a major grouping. They should have been looking to take something. They're not going to get much out of those 2 major kills that they found.
Yeah, with Uller, Uller did take the tier 1 on the left side and was pretty extended with Sun Wukong rotating over to try to contest that with the Neath. So, I mean, they did have... They had their Uller out of position, which is going to be a lot of their early damage onto the objective right now, but the Sun Wukong was also over here as well, so Hog 3 up and running on Lenny Loose Lips. Yeah, I think they did miss an opportunity there, DM.
Yeah. Now we're going to see a push. Spirit Ball going to hit. Wing Gust going to force out the special delivery. Still find 1 hit as Jose will be forced out once again. 12-6 right now. We're pushing up towards 18 minutes, and there is a 2,800 gold lead, 3,800 experience lead as well, both in favor of Full Moon. Now we're getting more aggressive over on the left side. I Win You Lose has taken some rather significant damage as those birds aren't playing, I think, the same tune he would have expected thanks to that Divine Ruin.
Well, I mean, honestly, at some point here, he could just say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw out a bird underneath
Jose
and heal up. Yeah, that's a very dead Mercury getting caught out in the blue buff there. Chalk forced to rain call away. He started into his sovereignty now. Let's take a look at Instinctivity, who has the Midas boots and the Steel Mill as well. That should give him a pretty significant, about 300 gold advantage now as those Midas boots have started ticking up. Gold per 5 increased by 5, so an extra gold per second from those boots. The Watcher's Gift granting a 1 gold increase to your GP5. So 5x gold pooling from the bonus for Instinctivity here, and it's starting to pay out. So he'll hit a Sovereignty first, and he has the Death Toll on top of Midas Boots. Physical power-wise, sitting a bit behind where the Chaka is also going to be losing out on some pen, but Sun Wukong just such a more resilient character.
Take a look at Hammerhands here. He is keeping up with the enemy team. Most of Full Moon we're going to see around 8,900 to 9,200, whereas you can see Hank Hammerhands sitting at about 80, almost 9K. And then Dirty Mike almost at 8,700 as well. So really there isn't too big of a push where they can't come back from this. The only issue here is that Mercury is about 2,000 gold behind the tier at this point, not to mention the fact that he is level 13. Bon James, though, was level 15 for a long time. Again, we're seeing him get into this part of the game where he's looking for too many kills, and he's not farming.
Well, but, you know, he has been involved in 7 kills so far. 5 kills, 7 assists. I mean, they have 13 kills, so he's been very, very active. He's going to find, miss the cheerless on the Changa, but it doesn't matter because that Spirit Ball in the Wing Gust is doing so much damage. Mercury coming through on the backside of Waxing Moon, but it's just not going to be enough to secure a kill. Dashing through, mistiming that, not finding the Isis. Here comes the dive. Sun Wukong, Jingle Bang, over the top. D. Gooden and Bon James's Lawbringer combining for the kill there. Rotation coming out from Poseidon. If he had a blink there, that would have been a big Kraken, but he's going to find 2 at least with it. Whirlpool continuing to do damage. Bon James forced out. Ice is doing a nice job of zoning the team here. Chalk not going to be able to stay in. Smacking that Poseidon with a Spirit Ball as well. And taking a look now at the left side where it looks like we're going to have some continued action as the Axe is going to hit Darkblade now. And he continues to just harass. Beneath does Hammerhand Hank, but I gotta say, or Hank Hammerhands, I'm sorry, but, you know, even though it seems like Uller's been the aggressor and had the advantage here, Given that Gold Fury, Dark Blade on the knee, still ahead in gold and a little bit deeper in the item progression.
Been stuck under his tower a lot, though. I mean, this is kind of the Ullr-Neath matchup. You know, if played from a maybe unexperienced route, you can see that Neath is having a lot of trouble. She's back flipping way too soon in the engagements, constantly getting hit by throw and axe, stunned out, and taking combos. But with her camping, it's allowed her to kind of sustain herself in the lane. And given the fact that she's 2-2 and Hammer is 2-2 as well, you can see that, you know, like you said, thanks to the Gold Fury and thanks to the pushes she's been able to put out, she has maintained a small gold lead. A lead that's going to play major benefit as they get to the later stages of the mid-game here, because both of these teams are going to need to start pushing for objectives. And if Neath is able to stay relevant to the only person really gaining a lot of control on the boys, it's going to ensure that her team maintains their lead.
Ullr's going to spot out this Gold Fury attempt now coming out for Full Moon.
Maybe
looks
not.
like he's going to be okay with that and now try to gank Eat Good, and there's going to be a leap into an axe, but he's not going to have enough damage for a combo here, certainly. Ultimate coming out as well. There's the knee Spirit Arrow into a Fearless Chain on a Dirty Mike. He's taking a lot of damage. He's going to throw out the Kraken. One crit hits him, not enough to get a kill.
Waxing Moon
is big. Mustard now going in. Hammerhand Hank doing the crits. 300 damage a pop. Going to continue in. Does he have an axe? No, going to miss the axe cleverly.
Oh, Bart, this is
avoided.
big.
Doesn't matter. Double kill for the Ullr. Rotation coming in from Mercury. Should be a Fire Giant attempt right now. And indeed, it is going to be Aphrodite forced to defend this mid lane, as it's going to be a free Fire Giant going the way of Full Moon. Let's take another look at that play and look for the Waxing Moon here, boys. So here comes rotation from Mustard. They find this big Kraken as the tower dive comes out. You can see
Watch
the big
this.
knock up there. And then Waxing Moon just obliterates everyone. And these auto attacks nicely placed by Hank here. You know, he doesn't rush his throw too bad. He does miss his axe, but does cut off the escape path. And then calmly throws out that arrow to find the kill.
In the meantime, it looks like the Fire Giant is going to be taken. Full Moon is going to be in a lot of trouble here, as their lead is going to be completely shrunk by the fact that all 5 members of the boys are now rocking the most important belt in the game.
The Gucci belt.
The Gucci belt.
It's that important belt. Yeah, no, they are. So that what does that give them? Of course, a tremendous amount of HP 5 as well as physical power or magical power, depending on who you are. But most importantly here, Hank has that Rage Blade done and is moving into his short sword as well. It's another 1,500 gold invested into crit. On the other side, though, it is Darkblade is going to finish off the Deathbringer over the Rage Blade. Noticing he is behind, it's going to be the Deathbringer into Jotun's Wrath build for Neath, it appears. So, I guess the Smec build, more or less, here.
Well, at least for this week. Next week, who knows what we're going to see as Draining Blade gets
I can
taken
tell you
out.
what you're going to see.
Oh, Executioner and Death Gloves.
Devourer's
Okay.
Gloves, yeah, Devo Executioner. And,
So excited.
And the old
We're going back to 2012.
I'm telling you, man. Devo's Glove, Executioner,
Yep.
right into Deathbringer, and then a last item Fatalis is so real.
2012.
Yeah, that last item Fatalis is insane when you have all those items and the Executioner to give you the attack speed. But back to this game and this patch, it's going to be chin size for Mercury.
Okay, well, with maximum
Interesting.
velocity, that can be a lot of damage potential. And given the fact that he's fallen behind and doesn't have a lot of damage or even levels to his name, getting passive damage from this item is going to help him a lot in his attempt to bring people down. Don't forget as well, Bart, he does have the Fire Giant buff available to him and a red buff stacked as well. They can push in here and get some real serious work done as the Storm Call comes out. Kraken's not going to do what they're looking for. They're trying to get back into the circle of protection, which doesn't heal anybody. Ice is super low right now. They're chasing into the background. Neath's out of the fight. Bond James just trying to find a kill here as we see D Gooden come in. But Heavenly Agility gets thrown out. Jose Ma will go down as the fight continues towards the middle of the jungle.
I gotta say, man, the boys kinda got popped in the mouth there. they went in with a Chalk ultimate that landed, as well as a Kraken that missed. The Sun Wukong was going up into the Somersault Cloud as it came out. In the backline, they tried to burst down Tier just off of the fight and weren't able to do so. They do find the tower, but they may have a little bit
Ooh,
of...
Hank!
Wow, Hank!
Hail Mary with those hail of arrows.
Nice job
Very
there,
good shot.
securing that kill at ISIS, and that's actually a really big deal because that's the primary amount of their wave clear. Aphrodite brings it to the table as well, but not with the same kind of speed that Wingus does. Plus, you'll have to kind of get out of position for a back off to really efficiently clear the wave quickly to prevent auto attacks coming. They're going to clear out the jungle as well here. Will the boys as they fall back. They don't have their Mercury though, so it kind of slows down their ability to really effectively backdoor towers. Although Hank, I think, is probably doing plenty right now for this tier 1.
Yeah, oh my god, by himself, thanks to the belt. No problem whatsoever. Take a look at the goal, Bart. Game's dead even.
Yeah,
Suddenly
right
the
back
boys
in it.
have an experience lead.
The Fire Giant buff is a good buff.
It's, to say the least. I mean, this is a game changer. And you know what? we're gonna talk about the Waxing Moon again, because this is why I think it's the best move in the game. He walked up to that fight, he killed 2 people with it and stunned another. And that third person that was stunned for 3 seconds, immediately fell to the Uller, which allowed Uller to find then another kill, and they gave him a 2 double kills back to back, and then right into the Fire Giant. Aphrodite couldn't do anything. And now, despite the fact that they're down 5 kills, and the experience difference is massively in their favor now at 3,000. We have an even game in terms of gold. Really, the only issue here for the boys is that Jose Ma is definitely still behind. Level 16 is not going to be a major use that's here, but you can see the Mace has been started up. Likely, we're going to see this pushed into either Jotun's Wrath or Warrior's Bane.
Well, the Mercury this behind now, you just kind of expect that he's their insurance if this game goes 50 minutes. He'll end up being the hard carry. Speaking of carries, Hank's going to take a spill here as he gets caught up by the Neath Arrow and Fearless Chain from Bond James and Darkblade. On the left side, just a bit overextended board coverage was there from Full Moon, trying to get a little greedy. Also, we do want to point out that...
Speaking of greedy, Bart, this is not a good place for this Isis to be. In between a rock and a hard place, Kraken's going to go off. She will Aegis out of the special delivery as well. She doesn't have anything available to her, though I don't really like this Storm Call there.
Yeah, they throw out the Chalk ultimate, lose the Gold Fury in exchange for the Isis, and blow 2 big teamfight ultimates there. If Full Moon has the communication here, this is a big opportunity for them to maybe take a push into the mid lane.
Check out the inventory as well. We have sentry wards on sentry wards on sentry wards, but right now that control belongs directly to the boys as their sentry and their ward are down actually kind of close to each other. Aphrodite's going to move in, they're going to place down their wards, and they're going to find 2 and pick them both up.
Some counter warding coming out as well as the game continues to move on. I do want to point out here, Aphrodite did build into that Kronos pen in DM, and it looks like it's going to be a Rod of Asclepius as well coming out on top of that. So a interesting build from the Aphrodite. Not what we normally see. Voidstone in favor over the just raw HP, and against a 3 physical team. I'm not sure that the Voidstone was the best pickup here. Raw HP seems like it would be the better option.
All right, so 27 minutes down here. 17-12 as the Fire Giant phase, as I like to call it, has started, where both teams are pretty much just going to hover around the lair, looking for an opportunity to pick this thing up. Remember, looking at the Hand of the Gods 3, we have 2 of them on each team right now. No Fist of the Gods available, which means any one of 4 people can really just jump into this and get that execution once it's below 25% health. So make sure to keep your eyes on Chalk, Mercury, of course, Sun Wukong, and then finally Tyr. Now, we do have Undying Love available, of course, but at this point, Aphrodite only has that sprint. She doesn't have Heavenly Agility for her team. They do start it up on the boys, and they lose a Sentry Ward in the process.
And another thing to point out here is that Hank has his Rageblade Deathbringer completed for this fight. Neath still sitting on that Deathbringer, working into the Jotun's Wrath, perhaps. And as mentioned, it's standoff time. Who's going to make the first move? You got to think that it's got to start with the Chalk Storm Call. If they get caught up by a Spirit Ball, unlikely they win the fight, do the boys, as it will be followed by the Blink Tier into, well, everything else basically. But noticing that Full Moon was rotating around the backside here, we get a D-ward from the boys. Their sentry is now down. Instinctivity looking for an opportunity to destroy that, and we'll do it uncontested. So, not too much going down.
That was the final sentry, though. Don't be fooled by the inventory. There's only 1 sentry available left in this game currently, and that is on Jose Ma, which means he is the only one who can really put the pressure down to take these wards up, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah, you do not want your level 17 Mercury going to the front line to drop wards at this point in the game.
That's probably not a good idea, no. We get a Thunderstrike coming out, only hitting the Sun Wukong and not for an amount, I'm sure. That has made him very uncomfortable. So, realistically, we're still in this standoff phase. Full Moon realizes with their last lost Fire Giant that they can't afford to give it up again. The boys realize that the game is too even to allow them to even start this as a bait in fear of them, with the double Hand of the Gods, taking it down too quickly. At this point, it's just neither team is really willing to go for it. Let me fix that one for a second. Dirty Mike didn't find the Aegis in time, but the Kraken does go off doing massive damage before Sun Wukong goes up. Lawbringer goes down. Mercury ults into nothing. His instinctivity finds his way back down to the ground, throwing off the Jingle Bang there, not doing enough as Neath finally joins the fight in the backline. They're looking for something, but he finds him. Bond James will be the first casualty.
And they find Hammerhand Hank at the back of this, though. It doesn't look like it as Isis is forced to use the Aegis Amulet as well. DM Jose Ma trying to run out, but he's getting hit by the Polynomicon proc. He uses his beads as well here. A little bit awkward. I'm going to dodge a Spirit Ball. Looks like you will have Uller recalling out of the fight. It ends up being a 1-for-0 trade in favor of the boys. Poseidon, Whirlpool a little bit off target there. Maybe could have had a bit better, and they could have tried to fight that. But now, is this real? Is Fulman going to try to take this now?
They can't fight it. They don't even know that it's happening.
Wow. No, now they're going to suspect it. There's a Whirlpool over the side. They see the damage numbers coming out. Disengaging now is Full Moon. But an awkward time to fight there. Now they have that big debuff stacked up on them for at least the next second or so. They're going to try to heal up the Isis some more. I mean, still a big Spirit Ball here can kill off the Poseidon or the Doc at this point, but the Axe hits DM.
Bart,
it's a trouble.
is very close to Waxy Moon's going to hit one. Digita does not have his Spirit Ball available as he takes the bladed arrow in the back. Lenny's looking for that Thunder Strike. Watch it over the wall. Torrent teleport, not going to catch him in time, but that sprint's going to come out and he's going to find himself in a bad spot. There goes, oh my God, Bart. They find the kill. Too greedy. Full Moon's lead is completely blown at this point, and now the guys and the boys are going to be able to put themselves into a 5v4, but note, Tyr is back up and the mana levels on Dirty Mike are too low. Hank Hammerhands is just in a bad spot as well in the mana department. I don't think anything's going to come of any of these kills.
No, it can't. He's just throwing up bladed arrows onto the fire. Oh, he's trying to de-ward that ward. There we go. There it does go down for old Hank, so... Yeah, not much going to come out of that DM. They're going to just go back, farm up some buffs, likely push out the lanes is what Full Moon's going to be looking to do, get these the lane control back in their favor around the map, and then we should have another standoff with the Fire Giant. Right now, though, looks like the boys are noticing that there's no one here, and if they see me split pushing, which they see about right now, I'd expect an all-in from them.
I mean, why not? Let her take the tier 1. Hell, let her take the tier 2. It's not going to amount to anything if this fight goes on long enough. They should really be... Oh, my... Did you see that? That one hit?
No,
Beepers. All right, so Tyr does have hand 3. He's going to be looking for the Blink Fearless here. They get a kiss onto Lenny Loose Lips, but it's not going to amount to anything. Instantivity, super low right now. Now the lava has done a lot of damage over the wall. They're going to look for it. Uh-oh. Who got Full Moon? Takes it. The hand of the gods. We're too early, Bart.
Wow. They both come out, but over the top of Wukong. Now when you lose fights Jose Ma, who does have the Jotun's Wrath finish a little bit awkwardly. Bon James going to try in on to Dirty Mike. Wing Gust is enough. Just Chaga now alive on the board, deep in the enemy jungle. It looks like she's going to try for the split push, as the tier 1 is going to get backdoored now as Bon James going in to tank it. Isis, and in the meantime, they won that fight 4v5. DM Neath is pressuring left side Phoenix, which means there is no Chaga split push, as she has to go try to desperately defend this. Not going to be in time. Neath going to take it down. Mid lane tower's going to be falling as well, and that may be all she wrote for the boys, as a tremendous gold swing going to be going the way of Full Moon, in addition to the Fire Giant buff. Chaga being zoned by the Spear Ball, and Polynomicon doing a lot of work here for them as well to help take down these structures. It's going to be a backdoor on the right side. Aphrodite didn't get the memo that the tower is still up. Now realizing it, they're going to back off, but that will be all the structures off the board for the boys in red. And that is an awkward situation to be in, DM. And it's got to be frustrating knowing that, you stalemated that. That was kind of at their behest, and then still lost even when the Neath was split pushing. Just needed a bit more, maybe a concentrated push with the 4v5.
Honestly, this is not a word I like to use a lot because it doesn't apply in even 10% of the situations that people use it in, but Bart, I think that was a pretty big throw right there.
Yeah, I mean...
The Hand of the Gods was too early on both ends. They used way too many abilities on Sun Wukong, who healed a lot of it up and then jumped over the wall, not only for damage, but for the steal. On top of the fact that all of those abilities, when they actually needed to fight, were on cooldown, thanks to either Sun Wukong or the Fire Giant. So not only did they not even secure the objective they were looking for, but they used everything to actually get it. So when the fight actually started, the boys had everything they needed. Every tool available to them that they could have possibly wanted was at their behest, and they used them instantaneously. Remember, guys, like Bart said, that was a 4v5. Heath, in the meantime, pushed not only 2 towers, but then soloed the Phoenix. That's got to hurt your morale.
Such a big gold swing now. I mean, 11,000 gold in favor of Full Moon. Experience is basically evened back out now, as it's all just a mess, this game, in terms of experience. It's been really, really back and forth. A very, very tight game until it's just been blown pretty much wide open now by Full Moon, and they have so much map control, all lanes pushing. And this Mercury, man, Chin size into Jotun's Wrath, like, you're not bringing anything to the table right now. Now just picking up a 5% chance to crit, but even still, like, his damage is just not a threat. And it's not even the 1 in 9, it's really more the itemization, I would say, here.
Lenny's taking some serious damage. They need to get Chang'e to the front here and stop some of the healing. I mean, the whole issue here was that in the initial fight for that Fire Giant, there was no healing reduction. Aphrodite was able to keep her 4 teammates up despite the fact that they had the advantage. Now, the Stormcall will go off Kraken as well, but it will be undone thanks to Undying Love. And now, though the Titan has reset, so many things have been used to try to keep them off. And even though they're doing a great job of it, the Fire Minions are starting to pour into the base from the right side.
Birds hit Hammer Hands.
Yeah, this is just trouble, Bard.
Looks like Lenny's going to take a spill here. Yeah, he is going to go down. Oh my god, the 780 damage crit going out. Jose, you just took it right in the chin, didn't you there, buddy? Now here comes the Isis Ultimate going out, and the detonate is just so strong. Down goes the Titan, and I got to say, man, it's really, really bad news when Sun Wukong of the enemy team is even level with your jungler, has Jotun's Wrath and Chins, and those are the damage items that your jungler has. I mean, that just puts you in a very, very rough position.
So I think a lot of this came down to the fact that Mercury just didn't find the special delivery escape that he was looking for at level 2. When he missed that and lost his red pot, his jungle just stagnated.
Yeah, it was a pretty tough start for them. I mean, they lose an Uller really, really quickly, and then they lose a Mercury. 2 very, very important farmers. But let's take a look at a replay here as we have this Fire Giant fight where it all kind of went down. And here's the someone called over the top hand, and then his comes crashing down just as the Kraken finishes. I think that they just lost Kraken when given the Kraken. Undying Love was pretty solid there, keeps tearing that fight, and that's really where the fight turned. When he Fearless Chain 3 into that back off, it just did so much damage. I mean, that was probably 3k damage between all the targets there. And then an easy cleanup onto the side, and due to the knee split push, as we were saying, that being the 4v5 that it was, she is pressuring the Phoenix there. Chaga, first step is to go and pressure that right side, try to take us here too in exchange for this push, but realized she has to go back, and it's just too late to prevent anything from going down.
So the Game Changers have won their match, guys. As we're going to check in with the brackets here, they're going to go on to fight the winners of the match we just saw, Full Moon. Of course, Team Dignitas has won their first round. They'll face off against Netflix. Resist Gaming and Torch both have won their seeded matchups and will face off again in round 2. We're going to see Team Imperfect beat 12-seeded Disc Unreadable as Critosaurus moves forward through Nautical. Cognitive, of course, have won their match, trying to earn themselves the first seed today. They'll face off again against Lisp Crew. Paragon actually will be facing off not against Victoria's Secret, who has fallen victim to Underdog's return.
Wow.
Snipe going to be facing off against Insania, and then a Mighty Storm and 5 Angry Men face off in round 2, which should also be a very decent matchup.
So take a look at return here. It's Miss the Boat, Famous Cloud, Mr. Wiggles, and Miss the Plane. So
who is Miss the Boat?
Plane. I don't know Miss the Boat, Miss the Plane, who they are, but we know
Miss
who
the
Cloud.
Bus is Kiki.
Okay, so this is another Kiki Star and DJ Mini Pern, etc. team.
Well, I can't keep track of all these name changes.
I know.
New rule: no more name changing.
And all right, guys. So that is going to do it for round number 1 out of the 32. Up next is the round of 16, my friends. DM, this matchup. What do you think?